Well, hello guys, and welcome to a Pokemon Sun and Moon theory. Now, I have never done one of these for Pokemon before, and under normal circumstances I never would, but I just have so many ideas swirling around in my head and I just kind of wanted to share them with y'all. Now, the most recent Sun and Moon video, they introduced us to the Aether Foundation. The Aether Foundation is a foundation that exists to combat Team Skull, while also doing Pokemon research. Now, many people, including myself, don't trust the Aether Foundation. It would not be surprised in the slightest if they turned out to be evil. Now, there are two reasons for this. One is they're too perfect. The Aether Foundation is this perfect organization. They live on this private island they literally call paradise, and their name Aether literally means clear sky. And while we're on the subject of definitions here, let's not forget that Aether is also defined as a pleasant-smelling, colorless liquid that's highly flammable. Looks nice at first, and then destroys it all. If that ain't a metaphor, I don't know what is. Other reasons people don't trust the Aether Foundation is the status quo. I mean, look at the hierarchy. It lines up perfectly with every other villain team we've seen up to this point. Now, of course, this doesn't mean they are villains. I mean, Pokemon Sun and Moon really does seem to be shaking up the standard Pokemon formula, and this could just be another addition on top of that, but I have my doubts. Now, I'm just going to throw some speculation out there, so stick with me here. Now, Pokemon games always come in two versions. Red and Blue, Gold and Silver, Ruby and Sapphire. Now, Ruby and Sapphire did something interesting with their villain teams, though. If you were playing Pokemon Ruby, your villain team was Team Magma. And if you were playing Pokemon Sapphire, your villain team was Team Aqua. So what if Pokemon Sun and Moon does the same thing? What if you're playing Pokemon Moon, the villain team is Team Skull, and when you're playing Pokemon Sun, the villain team is the Aether Foundation? So here's my idea. What if the goal of Team Skull is to kill Lunala, and as the player, you and the Aether Foundation are trying to stop them? Now, this part of the game would not change depending on which version you're playing. From here, though, is where everything changes depending on the version. In Pokemon Moon, Team Skull is successfully able to summon Lunala, but you and the Aether Foundation are able to stop them from killing it. This gives the player an opportunity to actually catch Lunala. While in Pokemon Sun, Team Skull fails at summoning Lunala, but instead the Aether Foundation betrays you and summons Solgaleo, and attempts to kill it. From there, the player has to form an alliance of convenience with Team Skull in order to stop the Aether Foundation. The problem with this, though, is portraying Team Skull in such a way as this would be believable, because Team Skull is your typical thug. They wouldn't really fit in as heroes, quote unquote. Now, I keep saying whoever the villain teams end up being, they will want to kill the respective legendary. And you may be asking, well, why do you think they're doing that? Why do they want to kill the legendary? Well, the answer can be found in the description of the Pokemon type Null. It's a stupid name, I know. It says, to complete a certain mission, there was a need of a Pokemon powerful enough to rival those Pokemon often spoken in mythology. This is basically talking about deicide. They're creating a Pokemon powerful enough to rival that of a god. Now, the Pokemon website, we learned that Gladon actually uses type Null. So what if Team Skull / Gladon created type Null to kill Lunala? And on top of that, these Ultra Beasts that we've been seeing around have something to do with the Aether Foundation. And what if they were created by the Aether Foundation to kill Solgaleo? My only problem with this is that I can't figure out why they would want to kill Lunala or Solgaleo. Now, the next question you may be asking is, how the hell would Team Skull be able to make type Null? They're just some street thugs. Where would they get the resources to make a Pokemon with the power to rival a god? Well, maybe they didn't entirely make it. Maybe they stole it from the Aether Foundation. Now, there's been this idea floating around that Lillie, Gladon, and Lucamine are all related. I mean, I see the resemblance. They all have blonde hair, they have these yellow-greenish eyes. Makes perfect sense. The idea here is that Gladon betrayed the Aether Foundation and joined up with Team Skull for some reason. And I think I know why. Now, one of the goals of the Aether Foundation is to conduct Pokemon research. And as a part of that, they're doing research on Ultra Beasts. But what if the Foundation created the Ultra Beasts, but then lost control of them, and they're using the player to round them up? Now, as almost everyone pointed out, Lillie and UB01 look very similar. I've heard people wonder if they're connected in some sort of spiritual way, kind of like when Ash and his Greninja synchronize. But I'm going to take this one step farther. What if UB01 was actually Lillie? Now, I'm not saying that Lillie can transform into UB01, but what if instead there's a part of Lillie inside UB01? What if UB01 is a chimera created by combining Lillie's DNA and the DNA of a Pokemon? This would explain why UB01 looks so much like Lillie, and maybe because of these past experiments, this would explain why Lillie doesn't like Pokemon battles. And then, What if Gladon found out about these experiments and stole all of the Aether Foundation's data on chimeras and ran away with it? From there, he went and joined Team Skull and used the stolen data to create his own chimera to stop his older sister in the Aether Foundation. This would make it make sense to have Team Skulls fit in as the good guys in the Sun game, for example. Well, good guys, quote unquote. They aren't actually good, but in comparison, they come across with at least some form of humanity. Because while Team Skull may be brutes, the Aether Foundation is full of monsters. But with that, I hope you all enjoyed. If you agreed with my theory / speculation or disagreed, tell me in the comments below. And until next time, peace.